Surah Al-Furqan was revealed in the Meccan period. When we say Meccan period, before he migrated ﷺ to Medina. And everyone agrees, not only Islamic scholars, but every historian who studied the biography of the Prophet ﷺ agrees that the Prophet ﷺ did not raise arms in Mecca. He did not use arms at all. 13 years, no armed struggle in Mecca. So Surah Al-Furqan revealed during the Meccan period, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him alayhi salatu salam, then do not obey the disbelievers and do jihad against them in a big way. Big jihad. What kind of jihad is meant in this ayah when the Prophet ﷺ finds himself in Mecca? He is addressed by this. Therefore we conclude without any doubt that this jihad is the jihad of proofs and explanation. The jihad of delivering the message. And we find that when the Prophet ﷺ migrated to Medina, and of course hypocrites only appeared in Medina. They were never present in Mecca. The hypocrites appeared in Medina, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet ﷺ to do jihad against the disbelievers and the hypocrites. Do we know if any hypocrite was killed by the Prophet ﷺ? No. None of them were executed. None of them were fought. So therefore, what kind of jihad are we talking about when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him alayhi salatu wasalam to do jihad against the hypocrites? That jihad, the jihad that is meant here, is the jihad of explanation, of delivering the message, of bringing proof. And I have left some tapes of understanding jihad from Surah An-Nisa, left with Brother Abdul Qadir, Jazakallah khairan, that will be made available on Call to Islam website, inshallah. And those of you who want to download it, they can do so. So therefore we consider we differ with them in the actual understanding of the concept of jihad. What they call jihad, we call corruption and fasad. And this is from those people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described by saying, shall we not inform you of those who are the worst losers? Those who consider themselves to be doing good whilst doing something that does not benefit them. And some of them might argue for the cases of Chechnya and Palestine, for example, and we can say to them that the right of an oppressed and occupied territory to defend their land is acknowledged by everyone. The right of an individual whose home has been invaded or whose country has been invaded, the right of those people to defend their country is agreed upon by everyone, Muslim and non-Muslim. But is it obligatory? Does it become obligatory for them to defend? We say yes, when they can do so. When they are able to do so. This is a very important addition. When they are able to do so. For example, everything in our religion is connected to the ability to perform that religious duty. We have the issue of the prayer, salah. We are ordered to stand in front of Allah in humility and humbleness in the prayer. Let's imagine that someone cannot actually do so. He physically cannot stand. Is he obliged to pray standing? He's not. And if he prays sitting as he should do, he will get the full reward of someone who prays standing, because he is not able to do so. As for a person who can stand and he doesn't pray standing, then he is sinful. and his reward is full. A person who can't stand and he prays sitting, his reward is full. How about a person who is not able to use water, for example, to perform wudu? Is he obliged to use water and perform wudu? He's not. Is he allowed to perform tayammum? He is. So therefore, everything is connected to the ability to perform that religious duty. And Allah said He does not burden any soul except what it can bear. And in another place He said He does not burden, indeed Allah does not burden a soul except with what He has given it. So therefore, we must know this reality. As for the Prophet ﷺ, then let us turn our attention to him ﷺ. Can any of us doubt that he is the most courageous of all the people? No one can say that. Can we doubt that he is man enough to stand up to his enemies? We cannot doubt that. Can we doubt any other aspect of his character? No. But we find him ﷺ prostrating himself inside the Kaaba in Mecca at the time of weakness of the Muslims and weakness of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Kaaba surrounded by idols. The Kaaba surrounded by idols to a point that when he makes sujood, their shadows fall on him. What does he do? Does he say, let's destroy them all and we don't care? No. He cannot do so. So he waits, alayhi salatu wasalam. He has patience. And the day or at the time of conquering Mecca, he gets rid of them. So that's the time when he is able to change that. He is not alayhi salatu wasalam in that Meccan period, especially at the early stages. He is not able even to protect himself. As it happened when the Prophet ﷺ one day was praying, and some of the idolaters looked at him ﷺ and decided to, as they thought, to play a joke or to do something that they considered to be funny. And they said to themselves, between themselves, who amongst you will go and fetch intestines? The intestines of a camel may be slaughtered with someone. So they said, who will bring, so that, why do they want to bring it? So that they can put it on the back of the Prophet ﷺ whilst he is doing sujood. Whilst he is prostrated ﷺ. And the narrator said, so the most wretched of them, the worst of them, because who can imagine himself harming and hurting a prophet from the prophets of Allah alayhi salatu wasalam to that degree, except someone who is extremely wretched and filthy in his personality. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that from those people who slew the she-camel of the people of Salih alayhi salatu wasalam, that the worst of them came forth. The worst of those people. So therefore that individual went indeed and he found people who slaughtered the camel that day, and he took the intestines and he brought them and he put them on the back of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, whilst he was prostrating to Allah. And the companions are actually watching them do it, and they can't do anything. Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, one of the earliest of the companions, watching these people do that, and he can't do anything because there is a possibility that he may get killed even. So they are not able to defend the Prophet ﷺ even though they want to do it. So therefore, the best they could do, and some people in this situation would say, they must do something. How can they allow that? Let's do it. Allahu Akbar, we die all martyrs. And that is not how the guidance of the Prophet ﷺ was. The best they could do was that they sent for his daughter ﷺ, Fatima radiallahu anha. That's the best they could do, to inform her of what is going on. Because if a daughter comes and helps her father, no one can say anything to her. Because she is the daughter of that individual. So therefore she came, radiallahu anha, and removed all of that. And what did the Prophet ﷺ do? He started supplicating Allah against these people, naming them by name. And the narrator said, Wallahi, by Allah, I saw them all in the well of Badr, killed one by one. So therefore, ikhwan, to behave oneself in a childish manner and not being serious is very easy indeed. To be considerate, think of the consequences, think maybe 10, 15, 20 years ahead,